wisdom and insight, I believe, is meant to be shared just as well. Just like when Solomon received all of his wisdom.
Welcome to the Howie and Beastmode podcast, where we discuss all things business, including growth, strategy, and execution, as well as personal and professional development. Let's join Howie and Beastmode in conversation.
Hey, Ruth and Rolando, it's great to see you guys. I'm Jordan, or Beastmode, and that's Howie, Brian Howard. And so part of what this is we're just gonna take some time. We want to listen to, really what brought into the group, what kind of business idea that you're currently working on, that you're wanting to start, whatever it is. We'll ask some questions, and then towards the end, we'll spend 5 to 8 minutes just in prayer, just over you and over your business. And so we're going to mute, and then if we have questions, then we'll just chime in, okay? All right, go ahead.
Cool. So we're Ruth and Rolando, and we've pretty much have trying to get a legway and entrance into entrepreneurship and business, and it's been tugging at our hearts ever since we moved up. We're originally both from the Rio Grande Valley, so Westlake, Texas is our home area. We relocated just before the pandemic hit as an emergency internal transfer for his work. So we came up with pretty much not much, just we need you here by Monday, and here we are packing Thursday and Friday, Thanksgiving weekend, to be up here. And then we relocated, and God was just speaking into our hearts like, hey, I want you to start praying over a business setup to be able to serve your community, and what's that going to look like? And, you know how he speaks, and it's just like, okay, silence, silence, silence. So we've just been meditating for the last year of what do we have at hand, and how can we serve others with what we already been provided without going into debt. So that's completely our business model strategy right now, is what do we have to offer our community? And it's going to be debt free based off of what we have, our resources here at home that we have to offer. So yeah, and I'll let my husband tell you a little bit more about what that business adventure looks like.
Basically what our business is, it's more family oriented. We're not into violence. Basically, it's we rent out, or we're not renting out yet, but we are planning to do so with God's will, to rent out a projector and a game system so that families can play, like a party, birthday party, or anything that comes out. But plus, we also let families enjoy time together, children having fun, basically. So, we're just keeping everything that's violent away from, what we have as a strategy.
Where is it so far? Like, what has happened so far with that?
So far, we are more wanting to learn what is the basics of what it, getting into the business. And I know there are explanations. Basically, some say, okay, you need a lawyer, you need more information, just to get into it. There's more than meets the eye, as opposed to that. And we just don't want to get into, issues, into what we're getting into. So that's why we need more consultation to see what we need in order to get into this business.
So where we're at, we've actually, what we have at home is actually, he's a really big gamer. I'm somewhat of a gamer, I used to be, but he's really the gamer in our family. So everything that we actually have is already owned. It's personal property. So we just figured during this time, families are still wanting to cherish that memory. So we don't actually need an actual game truck. It's too large of an investment. It's too much of a higher risk, especially with the actual limitations of distancing and everything. So we just revamped it and said, okay, well, we can do this outdoors. we'll set up the projector in a tent or two with the actual game systems, the different game systems, and provide that type of an entertainment, or even it's a movie and a game night type of a deal. So that's really what it looks like. So where we're at is projector, the actual slide, the background, that all we have, the equipment for the different game systems we have. Games we do definitely have digital and hard case as well. So right now we're still just in the legality of what's the next step. We don't know, but we figured it's a perfect time for us to be able to network and actually join a community where we can support or others within their area, so that we can help to bless them with prayer and support one another.
Gotcha.
So what's the attorney for? We've been really doing Google research, trying to see, okay, what are the top 10 things you need for entrepreneurship, your next steps? And that was one of them. I do believe that was on number 4, is to be able to hire an attorney to be able to review all your legal paperwork for the contracting. So you can have your actual community member or that family member sign your contract, since it is type of a rental business.
Okay.
That's what we understood from it. Of course, we have no idea. So no, we haven't gone as far as investing into an LLC. This is still all where we would like to go, but we were definitely thinking about an LLC. That was the next thing.
Got it. So thinking about, you think you might need some legal help for structure and stuff like that. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. We've got the state websites for registration. We've got the name selected. And right now we're just continuing to set aside financial resources for the business so that we can actually get all the fees and costs taken care of all at once. We figured that was the easiest way. So,
And are you guys currently a single income family as far as full-time?
yes. Well,
Okay.
yeah, we both work full time.
We both work.
Oh, y'all both work?
Yes, full
Yeah,
time.
this would be more of a weekend, ventures that, we help out families, or, something that we can do together. Basically, me and my wife are going to be the ones that are going to be, doing everything, for everybody. But this
Gotcha.
is.
Okay, and I think Jordan, aka Beast Mode, has a question in the chat. He said, "What's the attorney for? Do you have an LLC?" So he wants to know, what are the reasons for the attorney, and also, do you have an LLC yet?
Yeah, so the actual rental situation, it's going to be a rental, definitely a setup, but we will actually stay on site with the equipment. So we'll be both the actual coaches as far as the staff. So we'll be the game video coach for that evening or for that day, for that event. And then we'll be able to help the actual change of movie or change of content for the game, or switch out the controllers, switch out the games. So that way they don't have to mess with any of the equipment, worry about, oh, this wire, this is not functioning, this actually got broken. We would handle that. We would be responsible for that part.
Yeah, for me, as I'm listening to some of this, and again, Howie kind of knows my personality style obviously a lot better, but the attorney seems like it's a hindrance to get started. Number one, because you can get a lot of this attorney jargon and legal, if you're trying to if the legal jargon is more along the lines of, hey, you guys are renting the equipment, so if you break it, you guys are covering the cost. If that's, there's legal jargon that's out there for free in that. And ideally, if you're staying with the equipment, then part of that liability is on you, which again, just to kind of keep a good eye on things. If you were dropping and leaving, then I would understand having more tighter legal ramifications and stuff like that. But again, if you're taking, I don't know, $100 deposit, $99 deposit, and then you're having a 2-hour window that you're staying with the items. I mean, I'm more along the lines of let's see if anybody wants to do this and get some feedback besides sitting here waiting 6 months to a year to find out how much an attorney costs. Whenever that $500, $1,000 that you would spend on an attorney, for something that maybe nobody wants to do, so I would find that out first.
Yeah, we've definitely reached out. We've got friends within the Metroplex. We've advised them that this is already in the plan, and they're excited about it. They're helping us to spread the word to get some of that feedback back to us. So we've definitely got positive feedback coming back where they're wanting to know, okay, when are you starting? When can you be available? And things like that. So, which is great feedback.
Yeah. So to me, then I would say, then book that, go do that, see, because again, did you give them a cost in mind, or are you telling them you do it for free for your friends?
No, there's going to be an actual cost. We mentioned the actual bracket for the different packages.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've gotten feedback from them as well regarding the package to where it's
if somebody's willing to pay for the service, I would go ahead and do it to see, number one, how they enjoy paying for something. And then number two, and Howie will spend some time on this, the process about it. How long does it take for me to drive over there? How long does it take to set up? How long does it take to take down? Is my pricing that I gave them worth the time it took me to do all those things? Because, sometimes we price things on, hey, they're going to rent the equipment for 2 hours. But if it takes me 3 or 4 hours to set up and take down, and I didn't price that in, oh my gosh, now my time is now worth a lot more than that, No,
definitely. We've actually already explored with that. The only different variation or variable that we haven't tested out is actually the to and the from, with that mileage to that site where we're going to set up. But the actual site, the setup process was 10 minutes set up and 10 minutes tear down.
Did you use a generator? How are you getting power?
So that was one of the things that we don't have yet, because we're still looking at the best output for the generator.
Yeah.
The best bang for our buck, essentially. And that's the one thing. So on the actual flyer that we have, it for the time being, we're actually advising them and letting them know, hey, electricity must be provided for the setup.
Okay.
So that's
yeah.
For starters, that's probably safer anyway. Instead of you spending $400 on a generator, I mean, imagine, we don't want to ever think this way, but imagine we go to market and the market says no, and we've just spent so much money. So I think it's okay for a starter. I didn't want to interrupt you, Beastmode, sorry.
No, I mean, yeah, if electricity can always be provided on site, then that would be a huge bonus, obviously, because then you don't have to lug it around. Because I was thinking, if you have a generator, now how does that affect the environment of the game or the movie? Because now my sound has to go way up to cover the sound of the generator. And then can you explain a little bit more about, you said a tent, but you also said projector. Can you clarify or just expound if there's kind of a both and?
It's like a frame, and it has the basically the background on it. And as far as tent, we don't have a tent yet, but it's just going to be an open-ended projector.
How big is it?
It's
the screen.
Your screen is 120 inches.
So 10 feet?
Yes,
10,
so it's 10 by 10. That's the
10 by 10 or 10 diagonal?
It's a 10 by 10 screen, and it goes the actual 10 by 10. So it's 120 inch of a screen, and that's on the basic. It definitely can go smaller. The larger one, I'm still working on actually finding a bigger screen, because Our projector is able to project up to 300 and show a screen, but it's just finding the actual backdrop that would permit for projection. I mean, it could be on a wall, but that's usually not suitable and not the best.
Yeah.
Beastmode, do you want to switch over to me, or what's your status?
Here in just a minute, but yeah, I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay. He has to be mobile for a minute to switch locations. So he's listening on his phone, but I'll be kind of taking over for a minute. Talk to me a little bit about what is your inventory? What do you own already?
Oh gosh.
Well, inventory, we already inventoried our equipment.
Like when I ask you inventory, I'm saying how many gaming consoles of what kind, and that's what I mean by inventory, that kind of thing.
Okay. So we have a PS3 and Xbox 360, PS4, and Nintendo Switch.
There we go. Okay, gotcha. So, have you ever heard of this place called Games to You?
No.
Can you write that or type it?
I will.
Yeah, but let me Google it to make sure I even have it right. They were on Shark Tank, and they do parties and stuff. And I think they might be based in Austin, because I just ran into them when I was down there. I saw this place that had several trucks. Yeah, Games to You, Game Trucks, Laser Tag.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna focus on the actual van experience. See, okay.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you guys are competing with them, because I don't necessarily think you are. I was just seeing if you'd heard of them, really.
We're starting up, but we haven't pushed it out yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Okay.
we had considered going into a mobile type of a unit or even a truck, because we do have a pickup truck with the towing of a gamer truck. But we definitely indeed wanted to set ourselves apart, and like I mentioned, start with no debt. So we were just thinking outside the box, like how else? Yeah, you could probably get a van. I said, but they can't set up in your neighborhood, in your backyard.
Yeah, and I'm not thinking that you should, by the way. I'm not saying you should compete against these guys. Yeah, they're based in Austin. This is so funny. I just drove by these guys in December. This is interesting. But they were on Shark Tank, and they declined an investment from Kevin O'Leary. That's funny. He probably asked for too much or something. But anyway, I was just curious if you had heard of them. I think one of the things that inspires me about, so far, I have a lot more questions, but I think there's pluses and minuses to what I've heard so far. But one of the pluses is that there's people doing this, and that's a good sign, right? And that really is a good sign. It doesn't mean you're out of the woods with, but that's life. Everything has good and bad and things to overcome. I've done a startup before, and so I have a lot of sympathy for people who go through that process and expense and time and everything. I think, okay, so you have a screen, right? You do have a screen, okay.
Yeah.
And you have one projector right now.
we have two.
Projectors.
Okay.
We're waiting for the second stand and the second projector screen to come in.
Okay.
As with everything else, everything's delayed.
Yeah.
You have the sound system as well. I forgot to mention that in the inventory. So we do got the speaker
Okay.
for the one setup.
Got it. Yeah, we probably want to have it, two systems is probably more attractive than one for sure. So 2 projectors are owned right now.
Yes.
Okay. And sound system for one setup. PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Nintendo Switch. So basically you got 4 units, not the newest stuff necessarily, although the Switch is pretty new. That's still very current.
Yes.
Xbox 360 is about 4 generations old now, at least 3. But I know that there's a lot of good games on that. So that's, PS4 is pretty current for sure. So your go-to, did you say you're getting another Switch?
Yes.
Okay.
We're getting a
Why?
Switch, and we're waiting for more releases of PS5s.
Oh, so you actually are planning a PS5 purchase?
We are planning, yes.
Oh, okay.
A PS5. It's just
Getting one.
trying to get one is
Got it.
difficult. Yeah.
Got it. And are you kind of standard? Are you sort of going to sort of standardize on Nintendo and Sony, or are you going to still try to be in the Xbox game too?
We're gonna try to remain within the Xbox, I think. He's
Okay.
not the final say so, but that would
Okay.
be 8 areas to be able to cover.
Well, it is nice if you have, it's a matter of capital, because I just bought an Xbox Series S and it was $299. During Christmas, they were actually surcharging those things. I didn't buy an X, I bought an S, and it's a dream system. It's amazing. But it's still buying several systems, I'm sure, is expensive. Now, I think the benefit is you guys are going to play them as well. I think part of the motive of getting a PS5, let's be honest, is that you want a PS5, not just like, I think that's part of it, is like, Rolando loves games, and so it'll be fun to play with as well, right?
Right.
So we should remember that for sure. I have a 100-inch screen, portable, that I will give you if you'll come pick it up. And it's brand new. It's been used one time, and it collapses. You know what I mean? Like it rolls into this metal thing. I spent a fair amount of money on it, and then ended up not needing it for the purpose that I got it for. So I'd be willing to give that to you if you come to Grapevine and pick it up. And I don't think it's 120. I think it's 100. And it does support HD. It's a pretty nice screen. So anyway, keep it in mind if you are interested. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Our screen is actually built in. I got the 4K HD screen.
And mine might support 4K. I have no idea. 4K wasn't around. Well, it might have been around, but I bought this thing in 2015, and I know it supports HD, but I don't know that someone would on a game be able to tell the difference if it, anyway, whatever. But feel free to follow up. Yeah. But that'll save you probably $150 if you want to follow up with me. So promoting it as non-violence, I don't know what you consider violence. I play Halo, and I'm shooting, aliens. I don't know if you consider that. I don't know if alien violence.
I don't know if you've seen Resident Evil or.
Oh yeah. I don't play that.
Gory games.
Complete gory.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're like.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna, definitely try to.
Yeah, because I think there's a big difference between a zombie thriller or a Resident Evil type thing than playing Halo, which is a bloodless, it really is bloodless. I can punch these aliens, there's nothing, or shoot them, they just fall down and then they disappear. So I think your audience is not going to be I think it's good to have a certain level of sensitivity, but if you will not do a shooter game, I think your audience is a lot smaller.
And we do have shooter games.
Yeah.
We also have, I don't know if you've heard of Street Fighter.
Yeah, and that's fun.
We also have Soul Calibur, fighting games,
Okay.
but not to the point where they're gory,
Right.
too much blood. So, no, we have that level of maturity to that point where it's, clean, family, fun.
Yeah, that's great. So you guys basically are planning sort of like parties and events?
Parties and events.
Okay.
Are also
So
an opportunity.
I think there's so many questions I can ask you, but I think I want to really revisit something that Beastmode said, which is what we always tell people is go sell to 10 people and make them pay you something. And by the way, it's okay to do like 2 for free to make sure that you get the kinks out of the process. I think that would be smart. Like go offer, or just have it at your house, just so you can, it might be even easier. Just say, hey, we're having a complimentary gaming night, free popcorn, free games, come on out. We're starting this service and we want to offer a free night, and that way you can figure out what does the setup look like? What are people asking for? Because moms might say, hey, it would be really cool. Like you could have a suggestion, a clipboard with in fact, you can even honestly, if Rolando has to manage the gaming, Ruth could walk around with a clipboard and take notes on what people are doing, what they like, what they're asking for, and don't wait for them to ask. Go ask the moms and the kids, what do you like about this? What could be better? Are there some things that you think we should add to this service? Because the moms might say, well, I would love it if you bring a popcorn machine. I'm making that up, right? It could be like,
No, it's definitely a feature that we were wanting to consider, but because of the actual inspection and the health, that's a different
And
area. Food permit. We don't know what that looks like, so we're like, okay, one step at a time.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not worried about legal at all until you have 10 customers, until 10 people have paid you $100 or more, and I hope more. But until you've earned $1,000, this is not even a business, right? You have to, so getting an LLC, if you have a website, that's good. If you have an Instagram, that's super good. If you have a Facebook, that's super good, right? And if you have a Snapchat, I don't care, but I'm also not very social myself, social media. And then the other one is TikTok. That's probably important. I hate to say it. TikTok's probably important, even though I despise it. Because I think it's probably a bad influence on people. But I think for getting the name out, you may have to. So one of the things that Beastmode and I talk about a lot, and he's more familiar with this than I am, but he has to be on pause right now, is that the way to get your name out is through social media. And it's posting pictures from your free party, right? It's doing that. It's posting little video interviews with moms, it was a great time. Use your free party or two as a time to capture quick video testimonials, as a time to capture pictures. And then you can use those pictures and videos for every single day for 3 weeks. You will generate leads from that, right? And once you generate leads from that and have all your family and friends reshare, repost, right? When you generate some leads for parties and events from that, then we can get to our 10. But I think you should take it as a sign that if you can get 10 people to pay you at least 100, and I hope more, because that's not enough for your time, honestly. But I'm just saying it as a starter business where we can put up with making nothing or very little bit. But if you can get 10 people, then you can start thinking about, this is a real business, right? It's not right now. Right now, it's a great idea. It's a hobby. It's fun, and it's a wise use of your, especially of Rolando. I know you play the games more. It's a wise use of your interest as well, and some of your gear. So I think that's really good. And I think that you can have a menu of games or something.
We've got that set aside already.
Yeah. So I think that's great. I don't know what all the process details would be. We could talk forever about that. The main thing is doing a free party, getting feedback, and learn, probably do 2, and then take a lot of videos, pictures, testimonials, comments. And then Ruth is going to be just critical, because my impression is that Rolando probably has to help people and has to kind of watch and stuff. Is kind of it's my guess. But Ruth could be gathering feedback from moms and from kids on what else would you like to see, and blah, 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 blah. So I think that's my main thing for you guys is it's not a bad idea, number one. Number 2, free screen if you want it, although I won't hold it forever. Number 3 is don't overbuild with lawyers, and don't overspend and overbuild. Don't be doing that. That's not good, because you don't know if this is meant to be. The Lord might want you to sell. I have had an idea lately for myself, so I'll tell you the idea that I've had. I thought about going door to door selling fire extinguishers. And I know it sounds crazy, but I bet you most families don't have one. I'm serious. Right. So maybe, yeah. So maybe I go to Costco and I buy 20 of them and I knock on 200 doors and I'm going to sell some. And then I post some videos on Instagram. Like, does your family have a fire extinguisher? Did you know that 1 in 20 households will experience some sort of a fire within the next 5 years? Do you want to be prepared? And so, I'm just saying there's a lot of businesses we can do, and maybe that would be one for you. But this one's nice because it's fun for you and you like it, and because Games to You already has proven the model. They went all the way to Shark Tank with it. But I just feel like you have to start off with a pilot, meaning a small event or two, and then use a lot of social, use a friends and family network. All the people that right now are excited for you, which you guys have said they're excited, they can be the ones to help spread your social message. I'm sure Beast Mode and I will spread. We'll probably put it on our show page because we record this as a podcast. By the way, is that okay with you guys if we post this as a podcast? Okay. So, and maybe that'll get the word out too. We had actually a lot of downloads the other day. It was a good day for us. But anyway, that's a few ideas for you. But the main thing is, I think, you have to set expectations with your early people on, here's the games that I've got. Here's the units that I've got, because they might expect you to have like 10 PS5s or something, right? And this is not that yet. But if we prove it out, it could be that.
Indeed. And that's something that is on the actual flyer that we're designing. That says these are the systems and this is what we currently have available. And
Help will be on site.
Right.
Yes.
We'll help you. Yeah, it's all, your kids, all your kids have to do is play. And that's awesome.
Do you have a flyer designed already?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Okay.
Let him look at it.
Sorry, I'm listening and I can't join in video, but one of the things that I was hearing that I thought would be a good way to chime in is that a lot of communities, meaning like sub communities, wherever you live, a lot of times they have community nights, and that they have community Facebook pages, and they're always posting things in there, new ideas, fun things for families. This could be a way, again, that keeps it close to home. So again, I'm not traveling all the way around town. It's a great way to kind of get my community involved. I can do it on a small basis, family basis, as opposed to, showing up at a park and having 4 or 5 screens and 4 or 5 units going. So I was just thinking about that. And it kind of taps into the social thing that Howie was talking about.
Okay. I don't know if I can
How can you
share it in there.
I don't think Zoom allows a share screen.
Let's see. Share screen. There it is.
Let me make sure you have permission to share. I'm going to click on this, and then I think if I click on this, you'll be able to share. Make host. No, I don't want to do that. But I do want to allow you to share. I don't know why it's not letting me. Maybe you already have permission. Have you tried to share yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I was letting you.
Okay. See if that works for you. There's a button I had to click. Okay, I think that'll work for you.
It's a share.
Surveys.
So this, yeah, this. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'll let you into this.
Oh, it's already showing.
Oh.
It's done. Oh, we're on the screen.
By the way, you don't provide an outdoor gaming. You provide a mobile gaming, because outdoor
So would this
doesn't,
be
it
considered
doesn't,
mobile, even though we don't have a mobile unit?
well, we can
The
work
only
on the word
thing that
mobile. What I'm saying is I might want to have you in my living room or my upstairs playroom.
Okay.
So I'm just saying outdoor limits you.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, because yeah, we were
And you
bouncing.
could, you could say like, we bring a gaming night, you know, a video gaming night to you or something, whatever, we can work on it.
Okay.
Game systems rating for Sony, China, and family.
I would say something like gaming on demand.
The only thing we don't provide are movies. You know, personally, well, we were thinking about that because we have movies, but then again, you know, we were more of a
The legalizations with the actual copyright of showing a movie, even though you've already owned it, we've seen several cases where they will go after you. So we're still debating on that portion.
That's if you're in a public environment, like if you're at a park. If you're in somebody's backyard, it's okay.
Okay, I was not aware of that. Did not see that fine print. Okay, thank you.
yeah. We didn't know about that until now. You bring it up.
I sure wish I had somebody to help me during my startup time. I'll tell you right now. By the way, GoGo Pixel as a name, and I know you probably already got the trademark and you probably already got the website.
No, yeah, that's what we're working on now.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Because for me, GoGo Pixel, not everybody knows what a pixel is, and also it doesn't have games in there. So I would be careful. I feel like gaming or games has to be in the name somewhere.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah, GoGo Pixel to me sounds like it's a computer or something.
Installation
Yeah.
type retro.
Yeah, repair or something. Although, I mean, with
Sure.
your flyer, it kind of helps clarify with the old SNES controllers, but
Hey, by the way, before we're off of the SNES comment, you could get retro games and have a retro night too.
Yes,
we do have the Nintendo Minis that we have as well. I forgot to mention that.
in inventory.
Yeah, like I have an Atari, one of the new Ataris, you know, they're small.
Oh, the new one. Oh no, I actually have the Atari.
Yeah, I have well, mine is like an Atari 2600, but it's a modern spin on it, and all the games are inside instead of being cartridges.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are really good. Monday through Saturday, okay.
Yeah, the
DFW.
graphics card, it still works. We actually have the NES, the Super NES. But
I think you should invite me and Beast Mode to your party because I will criticize you.
oh, right.
And the reason why, I know that's hard to hear, but the reason why you really want that is because all your friends will lie to you, and so will your family. I lost $125,000 in my startup and 3 years, more than 3 years of my life. In fact, I probably ran that thing for 5.5 years before I shut it down because everybody told me it was an awesome idea and nobody poked at it. So because of that, I won't be mean because I'm just, Beast Mode knows me. I have a very gentle spirit, but I will tell you things that are wrong. So I think you should invite me and I think you should invite him and I to, and actually his son probably would play games if it was the right night at least. So that might be interesting. But I think there's multiple ways for us to help out. And I think attending that would be one way to go.
also when I'm looking at this flyer, I'm big into messaging and how you're speaking to your customer and things like that. And I want you, Rolando, I know you're the more the gamer, but in the top you say game systems ranging from Sony, Nintendo, family, movie, entertainment, right? If I'm random, single mom or random, 50-year-old dad just trying to schedule a birthday party, I don't know what that means. I don't know what what's the difference between Sony and Nintendo? I don't know. You know, and because then you go down to the bottom and then you say limited systems available. And so you're kind of speaking two different languages, you know, because again, I'm not a huge gamer. I kind of know, but I don't really know. But so I would just list it off, you know, I would just say this is what we have, you know, and then it's basically, then it's on demand. So, cause you have one, I didn't hear all the different numbers, but if you have one PS4 or whatever somebody calls and it's already booked, then obviously you can't rebook it. But I would list off what systems I have to kind of cut the chase. I don't want somebody to have to call me to ask me if I have a PS4. I want them to just know, you know,
Makes sense.
because that could be, it doesn't say PS4, so I don't know. This one does say PS4, so I'm gonna call these guys because it says PS4, whereas yours doesn't. So I want to cut any type of hindrance that would inhibit my customer from connecting with me or engaging or receiving my message. So.
Yep.
And then is this flyer meant to be black and white, or is the color not coming through on my screen?
No, it's black and white at the moment. We actually haven't developed the colors on it yet because we're still debating the actual colors for the logo.
I think for your trial night though, you don't need anything. I think for your trial night, you can have a very early, you know, in the software development world, there's a stage of software development called alpha. Alpha is before you even invite people to kick it around and criticize it, like I said. And that's the beta stage, right? The beta is when you get criticisms. That's what you want. That's why you do a beta. And alpha is a very limited audience that you really have. The software is way more raw. So I think you're at a point with, if you at least have 2 screens and 2 projectors, you probably need a second sound system. But I think you're at a point you could probably do a test event at your house, and then learn from that. You know what I mean? And figure out your process. Unless, I don't know. I feel like that's a good idea. Beastmode, am I over pivoting on this process thing?
No.
Okay.
But I would tell you that you could make this flyer in Canva in probably 5 minutes for free.
Yeah, Canva is beautiful.
And it's free, and they'll have all these templates. You can just add the words.
Okay, I have to go and explore Canva.
So
Yeah, it's really good. Good point. And then Beast Mode, I don't know if you heard this, but I said when they do their free, you know, maybe the alpha event, they don't take any video because it might be too rough, but maybe, you know, but if they had a second event, more of a beta event, still free, but moms, they can get moms on video saying nice things and kids excited and cheering, you know, and do like little tiny video clips and little interviews with people. And then that becomes for like 3 weeks, a daily social post to generate leads. And you and I have seen what happens with regular posting.
yes. Consistent posting. So you would do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday video, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, like a flyer like this. Video flyer. And then you just share it in all the different community groups where you're wanting business and just allow it to do the work.
So we would be totally new to the actual social media platform of posting and things like that.
Yeah, you need a social signature for at least Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And you need to have all your names matched. You got to choose a name that those aliases are available on those platforms so that there's no guessing, right?
Right.
I think adding game to the name is really important. I think the color is important here. I think Canva is a great idea. It's a beautiful idea. Canva will also create your logo for you, by the way. So you can have official logos. Yeah. And I think there's certain things they charge for, but I think there's also certain free amount. So it's good. But I think I personally feel good about you guys doing this. I want to criticize you basically to help you.
Yeah, definitely. We were actually ready to go for a Christmas event, but that's when we had that crazy winter storm. So we ended up making a piñata, a Grinch piñata, and donated that for their party, for our friend's party, instead of actually going and setting up because it was just too cold and rainy
And windy.
and windy.
Yeah, that's why the outdoor thing is not your focus.
Right.
That's available in the spring and certain parts of summer, but then you got mosquitoes. I mean, I think it's fine to do indoors in a large, especially in DFW. You know, the living rooms are big. I mean, I could have right now in this living room outside my office, I could easily do this side of the room with a 100-foot screen, 100-inch screen, that is. I could easily do one over here. I mean, just in my downstairs, I could have 2 setups with no problem. So I think de-emphasize outdoor, although just say outdoor or indoor, you know, outdoor, indoor, public facilities, you know, whatever, all that stuff is great. I feel pretty good about it. I really do. Overall,
Yeah.
it feels raw and early, but it feels good.
Yeah, or just take both words out and just let it be mobile gaming.
Okay.
And then when you're on the phone with the customer or texting, then you can clarify that. You know. Again, you want to remove any hindrances that's going to keep somebody from calling you or texting you or reaching out.
Well, I think we want to definitely pray for you all. Do you guys, before we do that, do you guys have any more questions or any more thoughts?
It's more of where to find these legalities, like
We're not going to wait. We're not be concerned with that. You mentioned
10 customers first.
customers first.
Yeah, because you can earn in the state of Texas. You have to go look up this number, but I believe they don't even you don't have to even do anything until you've earned a couple $1,000s.
Okay.
no, I mean like the free information for you know, those legality things.
I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Cool.
Did our screen freeze?
It might have.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Okay.
Cool. Well, so what did you guys take away from this tonight that you're thinking about?
More positive criticism, you know, to see more of an insight, you know, what is it that we can, you know, do in stepping ahead more of you know, feeling comfortable and getting into renting the equipment.
It's so funny because Beast Mode, I feel like we tell everybody. I mean, I'm not saying there's not very different advice because we've talked to tailors and we've talked to people who make really cool military gear. I mean, we've talked to a lot of people, and which is nice. But one of the patterns that we have is that you'll just learn so much by doing it that we always encourage people to do a little bit to help you learn a little bit.
Yeah, oftentimes we're trying to perfect a process or perfect something, and it may not even be necessary. And that's where just doing it, you're going to figure that out. Plus your client, your customers are going to help dictate a lot of that. Because again, as the business, you're coming in saying, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. My customers need this. And your customers are going to tell you, I don't want that, or I don't want it done that way. I wish you would do it this way. And then, you know, again, I took 2 weeks developing that process whenever my customers don't want it. Just get out there and do it, get some feedback. Again, with family and friends and people who are paying a discounted rate, then again, it's kind of that free feedback, plus you're kind of getting to find out how everything works. It's always a win-win. So just get after it.
Yeah, it's product development, right? Because the product development, or in your case, it's more of a service, but I'm going to call it product development. The product development leads to product marketing. Like, what do we actually do, right? What's our typical audience? when is a good time that we can, people might think about using us. So you start off with the product, and you start off because of the need and also because of your interest, but then you went, and you started developing, thinking through your process a little bit. But then by doing an event, you kind of learn about, okay, here's what people love about this, and here's when they're smiling, here's when they're frustrated, here's when they're smiling, here's what the moms are thinking as they're watching their kid play the game and having some fun and getting some support from Rolando and feeling like they're being taken care of and having a great experience. And also Rolando, I think as a believer, and honestly Ruth as well, there's an opportunity to encourage kids and love kids as well, where they might feel like they're not good at it, or they don't know how to do this, or they're not confident. And so there's a sense where you can really show these kids love and encouragement as well, which is really cool. The moms you start encouraging. I'll tell you right now, you come over and you talk nicely to my daughter and encourage her, and help her out. I will not forget that. And actually Beast Mode's son is younger, and it's probably closer to the right age, and I'm sure he would agree. So there's something about the warmth that you guys can bring and the love that you bring in your events that can set you apart as well. Cool. Well,
thank you for the feedback. Yeah, indeed, definitely exciting in how we can serve, especially in the fact that everything right now, the way that it is, the different perspectives, the different focuses, on how we can just serve our community a whole lot better with what we do have on hand.
I love it. I like how you're on hand. I like your approach of saying, what do we have on hand? That was cool, because it reminds me of like Moses's staff that was in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, but God also told Moses to get to work, that's kind of my comment is that yes, we want to do things debt free, but time is not debt free. The longer it takes us, it actually brings us into more debt because of the time it takes. Because I could have made $500, I could have made $1,000 that week. That's actually going into debt. So
different perspective. Love it. Thank you. Indeed. Yeah, we've been sitting on this for actually
4 months, but
3-4 months now. But December we canceled that just because of inclement weather. Had another friend out in Louisville, her church was interested, and we had to cancel that as well. And that was for a different reason. They didn't have the electricity available, and they revamped it and are wanting us to go back. So this will be a great free event to consider them, with it being a little bit larger crowd perhaps for their small church. So definitely going to get this into gear then.
Yeah, that'd be nice if you were forced to go to a church situation. That might be even a little bit better free event, because at your house you kind of know what it's like, and at a church you don't know what you're going to run into. So that might be a better stress test of you guys and of your process by having it not be in your familiar environment. I like that better.
We're just waiting on the actual final details for that church event, and then I can definitely share those details with you guys when we have that date.
And it's local, you say?
That's actually in Louisville.
Louisville? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, I know we want to pray for you. Beastmode, do you want to, is it tough for you right now, or do you want to start off?
Stop recording.
Okay, let's stop recording. Are you sure you want to stop recording?